Tonight's the night. And it's going to happen again and again.
They told me not to come to YouTube. They told me not to do this. But I've never been very good at listening to people. And we are here tonight. It is MAGGCAST live in the house. Let's go! MAGGCAST is here, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a great time. And listen, I can't even believe, after the shenanigans of last night, I can't believe that I have the energy to do this damn show. Because I got to tell you, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. You know I don't lie to you guys. I don't remember a single thing past midnight. None. Zero. Zero. I don't remember a damn thing. Thank you, 80 Storm. I got a bunch of cool, by the way, I got a bunch of cool new sound effects for everybody. You're going to hear them tonight. You're going to hear them tonight. And I've also been setting up for Christmas. As you guys can see. Look, I got new animations. Check it out. Oh, look at how pretty it is. Look. The Winter Wonderland, right, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be going back to me. So there we go. And let me tell you something. I've been working on all this. I got Christmas sound effects. I got everything going on. I'll give you a sneak peek if you like. I'll give you a sneak peek. I'll be stoned for Christmas.
We're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the
Oh. Funky Playbox, let me tell you something. He says Rohypnol and a sore bum. Dude, I honest to God thought I got roofied last night. I don't remember anything past midnight. It was ridiculous. It was utterly ridiculous. I remember we were at the bar. So what happened is my wife and I went to Kelsey's, okay, restaurant over right in Clifton Hill, right in the middle part of downtown Niagara Falls, right? That's where all the action is. So anyways, we're gonna go have their dinner. And then Noof was gonna come about an hour later. So what ended up happening is all of a sudden Noof texts me, he goes, "Hey, I'm ready now." And we just sat down to eat. I'm like, God damn it. So I'm like, all right. And honey, my wife goes, "Don't worry, I'll stay here and drink. You go pick up Noof." He was only 5 minutes away. And he goes, "You go pick up Noof. And then come back, and then we'll eat something." And he already ate, but he still had some wings and stuff. My cousin was there. I had to pick him up. The doctor. So the doctor was in the house. And so what ended up happening is, from that point, I picked up those two guys. I picked up my cousin, picked up Noof, went back to the restaurant. I had a couple glasses of wine. And then my cousin starts getting wild. He starts ordering these things called beeritas. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. It was a giant margarita, right? And I mean giant margarita with a Corona bottle stuck inside, right? So as you're drinking, from the straw of this margarita, the Corona is slowly emptying inside your margarita. And it all went downhill from there. I drank 2 giant glasses of red wine, and then after that, or as Johnny Depp says, mega pints, and did all that. Whatever. And then started drinking Michelob's out of these 20-ounce glasses. They were monstrous. It's like a pint and a quarter. And we started drinking all that. And then I don't remember anything. Then we ended up doing a shot of Jägermeister. And then we went to the casino. I remember sitting there in the casino with Noof. We were playing the giant wheel where they have the big wheel spinning and you pick your numbers. 1, 3, 5, 10, 25, 50, whatever, right? And so we're doing all that. And as we're doing all that, that's it. I don't remember anything after that. I remember my wife was playing blackjack, so I went over to see her. Noof stayed at the big spinny wheel, and I went over to see her for a bit. I played blackjack. I was up $30. I'm always up when I play blackjack. Actually, the last time I was in Casino Niagara, I was up $660 on blackjack. I don't know what the hell it is, but I always win. And so anyways, I was only up $30 last night because I was gone. right? And then that's it. And then I don't remember anything else. I don't remember taking pictures with Noof outside by the cab. I don't remember walking home to the hotel. I don't remember going to bed. I don't remember a damn thing after that. Now, the thing is, I hadn't really had much to drink since, like, Halloween. And Halloween, I had that huge house party here at the house, right? And so because of that, I guess my tolerance kind of went down over the last couple of weeks, I guess. I don't know. It was completely wild, man. Anyways, it was a great night. We had such a good time. We talked about games. We did YouTube stuff. We went live on the air for about 23 minutes because, hey, the maggots asked. The maggots are like, dude, you got to do it. You got to go live from the bar with Noof and my wife, Chef Trouble, of course, and the doctor. And it's like, well, we got four people from YouTube here. We got to get on here. So we went on for about 23 and a half minutes. I rewatched it today, and I was looking at it, and I'm going, oh my God. I'm like, how drunk were we? That's like, I barely remember any of this stuff, but we were totally rambunctious. And then my cousin, and then the doctor and Chef Trouble ran out of the bar and ran down the street and went to Castle Dracula. Like, you know, those haunted houses that you go inside, you walk through and they scare the shit out of you and all that stuff. And they went in there all drunk. And then they came back like 15 minutes later. It was totally out of control, man. It was an out of control night. Totally out of control. But anyways, a lot of fun. But I want to show you guys something. Noof got me a couple of presents. All right? He got me this, which I'm still figuring out how I'm going to deal with this. It's an on-air button. You know, like those ones? Like you turn it on, look at that. It says on the air. And look at how beautiful that is. So I got to figure out where I'm going to place that, somewhere where you're actually going to be able to see it. So he got me that. And here's something really cool. He got me a Christmas ornament. He got me a beautiful Christmas ornament.
Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
That's right. Merry Christmas. So he got me this. Look at this, guys. It's a miniature Xbox 360 with a controller. And it's a Christmas ornament. It's got a little hook here, or a little like a loop here. Then you put the hook on, you put it on your tree. Right, but that's not it. That's not all. Check this out. You press the power button and listen to this, guys. Huh? It plays the Halo theme song and the startup for the Xbox 360. Remember when you fired up the Xbox 360 and it had like the, you know, the big ball and the thing? And went, here, I'm going to play it again. Listen to that. How cool is that? And then it plays the Halo theme song. So when it's hanging on my Christmas tree, I can walk by and just press it, and I get to hear that glorious Xbox 360 sound all the way. Yeah, Magnum, that's an Xbox. Yeah, you know what? Hey, Microsoft, this is an Xbox. You see that? This right here is an Xbox. There it is. Okay. So now we know about that. So yeah, so it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. Yeah, copyright in 3, 2, 1. I didn't play it long enough to get that. I think it's 13 seconds on YouTube, and then you're nailed. Which is funny because I actually wanted to bring that up. My last MAGGCAST, by the way, accidentally, because I have Spotify playing in the background, and it's all royalty-free music, right? So I'm allowed to use this music that's playing right now. And I don't know what the hell I did. I think I accidentally hit shuffle instead of just play the playlist, which the playlist has like 600 songs in it or something, right? Thank you, Emperor Hound. So anyways, it pressed shuffle. So what did it do? I didn't even realize it. I'm sitting here doing the show, talking, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And it was playing licensed music in the background because it started shuffling from other playlists of like instrumental songs that were whatever. And I got a copyright strike. Can you imagine this? Sinless Number, how you doing, buddy? Zeb Bird in the house. Look at all these people. Eugenia girls in the house. Ion Storm Portal player. How you guys doing? Blade is in the house. Sabina Finest. Well, we know who you are. Voyager. Carlos Marto MAGGCAST. How you doing, buddy? Magnum, Marsh. Look at all these beautiful names. Brandon's in the house. Aero Nation. Aero Nation was yeah. We're all here. 80 Storm was here. 80 Storm was sending us super chats last night live from the bar. And he says, "Here, order a round of drinks." Portal player, how you doing, buddy? And dude, listen, Portal player, let me tell you something. when it comes to that, he says, he had 2 360s broke on him, and he goes, I love that thing. Dude, I returned 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. I returned 3 of them because of the red ring of death, right? And then, dude would show up at my house with his courier truck, and I'd hand him the thing. And they give me a box, right? And I had to put it in the box, and then off it went. And I kept my hard drive. Remember that? Remember that? You could detach the hard drives. I had the hard drive sitting on my desk, staring at it. And then, lo and behold, just a few days later, he come back with a refurbished one, and on and on and on. So I had actually gone through 4, not including I bought an Elite one at one point. Remember the Elite, the 360 Elite? I bought one of those. I bought one of those for my wife, and I bought one for myself way back in the day. And that is when my wife and I were dating. We weren't even married yet. And I don't care that I went through 5 Xbox 360s. You know why? Because the Xbox 360 was one hell of a console. And that was one hell of a generation. So when Noof gave me this is proudly going to sit on my Christmas tree, this Xbox 360. Yeah, Marsh, same thing, man. Listen, this is like, 20 whatever years ago. I didn't have the money to have multiple consoles in my house or whatever. I had only an Xbox 360 at that time. I ended up getting a PS3 towards the end of the generation because, as I had probably mentioned before, EB Games, which is now GameStop, which is ironically going back to EB Games here in Canada. I don't know why. But anyways, well, I mean, I know why. They're just changing hands or whatever. Different ownership. However, they had a deal. You ready for this deal, guys? Trade in 15 games, and you get a PS3 with Uncharted 1 for free. Swear to God. Swear to God. And so, remember in those days, it was all physical. I mean, it wasn't all physical. I mean, I bought like digital games in like the, remember the Xbox Arcade? I bought like Miss Pac-Man and all that stuff, which is ironic because now I have all these games in cabinets in the back here. So, what I end up doing? I took 15 games out of a tower. I had a big tower right next to the TV with all these Xbox 360 games, and I went through all the ones that I hadn't finished yet, the ones that I had finished, and I was just hanging on to them to trade them in to buy something else later on down the road. And I found 15 ones that I wasn't playing anymore, and I was done with those games and all that kind of stuff. I was a big achievement hunter in those days, so I used to go for the 1,000 out of 1,000 on all those games. I mean, I have, I don't know, just under 400,000 achievement points. But the funny thing is, I stopped getting achievements about 5 years ago. If I had kept going, I'd be well over 1 million. But I stopped at one point, right? I just like, I mean, I play the games, but I'm just like, still whatever. So I got those 15 games, went over to GameStop /EB Games, and they gave me a brand new, like the George Foreman grill one. You remember the Spider-Man 3 one? A George Foreman grill, PS3, brand new, with Uncharted 1 in it. Unbelievable. Got it for free. However, when I got the Red Rings of Death, I didn't have the money for another console. That was the only console I had. So I can't remember who's... Oh, yeah. Marsh said it in the chat. He goes, I had my thumbs twiddling until my 360 got back. That was me. And I had to wait like a couple days because, I mean, there was nothing else I could do. You know what I mean? Absolutely, Carlos Marto. Absolutely. Xbox 360 stands in the pantheon of the top 5 greatest consoles ever made. Period. But anyways, we're not here to talk about nostalgia. I just wanted to show you guys that because Noof got it for me and it was totally awesome. The on-air sign, I'll figure it out. But today I was a write-off, so I wasn't able to get this on-air sign like set up or whatever else because I was just a disaster for the entire day after the events of last night, of which most of it I don't bloody well remember. But it's okay, it's fine. We're here now. We're talking about it. We're talking about gaming. We're talking about gaming tonight. So, let's talk about Black Ops 7. Before we get... Listen, man, we're going to get into the fun stuff later, okay? This is still fun, too, okay? But we're going to be talking about the Black Ops 7 right now. And I got to tell you something. Recovering? Zeb, I'm a disaster right now. I am in complete and utter pain from last night. So I ain't recovering at all. I'll recover when I go to bed. Either way, I'm going to take some time off from the partying, okay? I'm going to Great Wolf Lodge with the kids next week, going back to Niagara Falls, and Great Wolf Lodge is there. I'm going there. I'll save it till next week, man, because I ain't... No, Johnny T, no. What I did is we stayed in the hotel, like right there, like right across the street. So I just had to cross the street. So where we were at the bar and the restaurant and the casino and the hotel were all like a 3-minute walk from each other, right? So there's no driving. There was driving today to get home. However, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I made my wife drive. Dude, it was a nightmare. I was a disaster. But anyways, doesn't matter. Oh, Zeb Bird. Tell me you're already playing the game. Zeb Bird, tell me in the chat. So let's get into it, guys. Let's talk about Black Ops 7. I got to tell you, I think I was wrong. And you guys know I'm honest here, okay? I'm always honest here. Oh, thank you, Johnny T. I appreciate that. He says your wife is very beautiful. Thank you very much. Oh, Emperor Hound. Disaster. Complete and utter disaster. But it's okay. We did it for Gondor! For Gondor! For Gondor! We raised glasses for the White City. Yeah, that's what they were saying to me as I was crossing back into the hotel at some point. Anyways, I think I was wrong about Black Ops 7. I told you guys before, I'm always honest, okay? I try to be as honest as humanly possible. And, you know, some people are like, Meg's a liar because he said this. And I'm like, no, but yeah, okay, whatever. I'm always honest with you guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've been shitting all over Black Ops 7 since I played the beta. And I'm like, what is this Mickey Mouse bullshit garbage? I don't want to play this. This is awful. Look at this. Oh my God, it was terrible. The Mexican jumping beans. Everybody's jumping all over the place. It was like an ADHD nightmare. It was like Fortnite. I'm like, what is this garbage? I hated it. The map sucked. You know what I mean? And whatever. And I was just like, man, this ain't gonna be good. But then, we're starting to get some details. By the way, somebody broke the embargo on the review. Someone that released a review, like an independent guy or whatever. And he put his review up today. And he said the game is awesome. He said the game is awesome. And not only that, there's a bunch of features that I didn't even know were in this game. For example, you've got the co-op campaign. We knew about that, right? At least I didn't know all the details, but I'm listening, I'm watching today, and I'm like, wait a minute. This sounds like it's going to be a good deal, this game. It sounds like it's going to be great. So now it's like you got the campaign, all right? And Black Ops campaigns are always excellent. For the most part, they're always great. Black Ops 3 was the only exception. I hated that campaign. I hated that game. I did not like it. Oh, Alex, I see you. But I got to tell you this. So now they got the co-op campaign, right? So you can do it with a friend, whatever else. Then they start talking about this end game. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what is this all about? And I'm like, this sounds really exciting. What the hell is this? End game. And I'm like, what is end game mode? So apparently, you can go in after, like, you've done the campaign. You have to finish the campaign first. However, you could squad up with people who've already finished the campaign and kind of join them. But I think that's kind of silly. I mean, you might as well, like, why spoil the experience for yourself? Play the damn campaign. How long could it possibly be? 4 to 6 hours? You know what I mean? It's 4 to 6 hours of your life. You could bang that off in one night if you're really, kind of going for it in one day. So now, when you finish the campaign, which I'm sure is going to be a lot of fun. The review that I had read about it, I'm not going to give any spoilers, and he didn't say anything. But it's just like, he was saying things that were kind of cool. It was just like, it's like the Black Ops stuff. It's all the mind, messing with your mind and all that kind of stuff. And the numbers, Mason, you know what I mean? All that stuff. So it is what it is, right? So now you've got this campaign. 11 missions, by the way. Okay, 11 co-op campaign missions. Then you unlock this end game. It's a PvE. And this sounds really cool. Listen to this, guys. You could play it solo. You could play it with squads up to 4 people. All right? Already exciting. And it supports up to 32 people in total. And I'm like, you know what? This is pretty awesome. Now, the end game is called Call of Duty Black Ops 7 Endgame, or it's called Avalon. And Avalon is from the game's campaign. Okay, and it's going to have like locations and everything from other Black Ops games as well. And what you're going to be doing is like in the multiplayer modes, you can customize your loadouts and all that kind of stuff. And you're going to go out there and be looting and shooting and dealing with people and doing some like end game like side missions and all that kind of stuff. Are you kidding me? And then power-ups on top of that, which is kind of cool. And apparently the map is really big. And I'm like, this is awesome. That's a whole separate mode now. So now when you start thinking about the value proposition of a game like Black Ops, or Call of Duty in general, you've got the multiplayer, which a lot of people consider to be, obviously the biggest section, and that's the one that stands the test of time as people continue to play it all year with the new seasons, new maps, and all that stuff and all that jazz. So now you've got the multiplayer, which is a huge component of the game. You've got zombies, which is also a big component. I love zombies. I always have. Depends on which game it is. Some of it is like hit and miss, like in terms of quality. I'm like, eh. Like the one from, what the hell was it? The one where you're on the cruise ship, like the zombies when you're on the cruise ship. Garbage. Ass.
Your fucking warrant don't ever go over my fucking head again, you motherfucker, you.
Garbage. I don't even know why they even bother releasing that. Awful. But it doesn't matter. So now, this one, I played some of the zombies in the beta, and that was fun. And I actually said that when I said the beta, I said, listen, the best part about the beta is the zombies mode. It's fantastic. So I enjoyed that. So now you've got multiplayer, you've got zombies mode. That's already 2 modes right there. You've got the campaign. You now have Avalon, this end game. PvE thing, squad up with 4 players, have fun with all your buddies, up to 32 players. What are you talking about? That's amazing. That's a whole new mode in itself. And the campaign. So you now have 4 massive components to this Call of Duty game. What am I supposed to say, man? What am I supposed to say? Of course I'm going to be playing this. I have no choice. But the thing is, and I'll tell you guys this, I was going to buy it, or not buy it, excuse me. I was going to just rent it in Game Pass, so to speak, right? I was going to, because I told Colt, I told you guys the same thing. I'm like, listen, here's the plan. The week of Call of Duty, I'm going to subscribe to Game Pass for 1 month. I'm going to rip through the game, whatever else, and then play some of the other games I never got to, like Keeper, Outer Worlds 2. I was going to get Ninja Gaiden 4. I was going to get to some of those games. However, 78 Inc., welcome to the chat, buddy. However, after hearing all of this stuff, that they sort of, gave an information dump on all this cool stuff that's coming to Call of Duty, my wife heard. And you know what she says to me? She goes, you're not going to buy it so I can play it now? And I'm like, shit. So no Xbox. No Xbox Game Pass, ladies and gentlemen. She's a pony. You guys know that. And as a result of her being a pony, I'm buying it on the PlayStation. I'm sure Phil Spencer's going to cry himself to sleep that he got 70% of a publisher fee from me, But either way, I got to buy it on PlayStation now because she wants to play it. And she's like, co-op campaign. Now, I'm going to be playing with Literal Table. Literal Table, I know you're going to be in this chat somewhere. You're somewhere there. But I will play the campaign with you because I promised you that. And we will stream some of that. Absolutely, we're going to stream some of that. It's going to be a blast. And the thing is, though, now she wants to play it. So now I got to buy it on PlayStation. What am I going to do? I'm going to go rent it on Game Pass and for $40, $38.62 to be exact. And then I'm going to have to buy it again for PlayStation so she can play it? No, I'm going to buy it one time and one time only. And I got to tell you something, folks. I'm buying it tonight as soon as the show's over. I can't help it. What am I supposed to do? When I started seeing all those features that they're talking about, this is a no-brainer now. Now, the other cool thing, by the way, there's another thing I want to talk about, this endgame Avalon situation. And it's kind of like an extraction shooter in itself, okay? So what happens is, like, if you die in a shootout and you're gathering loot and all kinds of other stuff or whatever else in your progress, and if you die in there, you lose your progress and you lose the goods. That's exciting. That sounds a little bit like The Division. Like, we know when to go to the, what is it called? The Dark Zone? You go to the Dark Zones and that kind of stuff? Dude, what are we talking about here? So anyways, we're driving back from Niagara Falls today, and I'm reading all this information because I wasn't driving because I was dizzy. I was dizzy this morning. I'm like, honey, you got to drive back from Niagara Falls. And she's like, yeah. She was fine. Me, disaster. And I'm like, I'm dizzy and stuff. I don't want to be driving on the highway at 140 and like all of a sudden I start getting dizzy spells on the highway. No, thank you. So anyways, I'm sitting in the passenger seat and I'm reading this info dump about Black Ops 7. And I'm like, I gotta buy it. So I'm telling her this stuff, right? And then she's like driving away and she like looks over. She's like, you're buying it, right? It's like she was all excited because she wants to play it. And I'm like, yeah, well, absolutely. We got to do that. So there it is. So I'm buying it. I'm buying it as soon as we're done the show tonight. I'm going to buy it, pre-download it, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Tomorrow's Thursday. It releases whatever, Friday, midnight, all that kind of stuff. I'm not messing with my time zone stuff. I don't want to deal with any of that crap. I will happily wait till Friday. I'm not working Friday. I will be there. I will wake up Friday, and I'll come dancing down the stairs. La, 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 la. I'll come down, and I'll turn it on, and I'll start playing the game. And I'm all excited for it. Literal Table, if you're around on Friday, maybe we'll live stream directly on Friday. If not, I will live stream Call of Duty anyway. I'll just do it solo. But I won't do the campaign. I won't do the campaign. I will do other stuff. I'll do zombies. I'll do multiplayer. Wax that ass in multiplayer, I'll tell you that much. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're not going to get past me. No one's going to get past me. Listen, Call of Duty, I'm really good at Call of Duty. Even though I didn't like I said, I did not like the multiplayer in the beta. Come on, I crush. But anyways, doesn't matter. That's what we're going to be doing, so we'll deal with that. So, what do you guys think? I want to hear what's going on in that chat over there. I want to see what you guys think about all that situation. I want you guys to think. Oh, by the way, you like the fancy new little thing in there? It has like the frosted snowflake thing when your name shows up on the screen now, by the way. I fixed that up so that when anybody does donations and stuff, you get recognition right on the screen. Beautiful. And of course, it's like the winter. Ah, look at this. You got Super Chat, Sabina's Finest. You see how cool is that? And speaking of Super Chats, let's get into that right now. And I got a $2 Super Chat from Snow Dragon. There we go, Snow Dragon. That's it. What's up, Snow Dragon? Thank you so much. And he says, switched from Bell to Rogers Fiber, 1 gig, $60 a month. That's so funny because I went the other way. I went from Rogers to Bell, and I got Bell 5, high-speed fiber optic internet. Absolutely insane. Amazing. So, anyways, I hope you enjoy it because you're going to really enjoy it. I'm telling you right now. And then we've got, look at me. It's the broke boy. He comes in, a member for 2 months, and he sends in a member chat. Thank you so much, my friend. And he says, Mag, per our conversation, I'm 38% done with Last of Us. Wonderful. I'm glad you're enjoying that. Great game. One of my favorite series of all time, even though it's 2 games. But the funny thing is, even though it's 2 games, I got 5 platinums on it. 5. I got the platinum on Last of Us on the PS3. I got the... this is how much of a cuck I am for Last of Us. I got a platinum on the Last of Us remastered, or what? Not remastered, excuse me. The anniversary edition, whatever the hell it was called, on the PS4. I got the platinum on Last of Us 2 on the PS4. And then I got the platinum again on Last of Us 2 on the PS5. And then I got the platinum again on the Last of Us 1 remake. Thank you very much. Utterly ridiculous, but I adore that series. I adore the games. I love the characters. I love the story too, man. Even the second story, and a lot of people got pissed off with the story. I got to tell you, man, the story was good. Listen, here's the thing. If you can make me cry and you get me emotionally invested in something, I don't give a shit what it is. Xbox, PlayStation, third party, Nintendo. Nintendo wouldn't make me cry. Maybe cry of boredom. But anyways, the point is that if you can get to me and I'm getting invested in the story and I get angry or I get sad, melancholy, I feel a sense of longing, whatever the hell it is you did, you've done your job as a developer, because you're not just a developer, you're an artist. Truly. It's just like film, it's just like music, it's just like television, it's just like being an author. A video game developer is an artist as well, because it's an art form. And if you can get an emotional reaction out of me where I feel connected in one way or another, or I can make, connections about my life in that kind of thing, or put myself in those situations, then you've done your job. It's just like when I go to see, the symphony or something, or I go see an opera. I went to go see an opera actually in the late winter of last year. I went to go see Madame Butterfly at the Canadian Opera Company with my wife, right? I love opera. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching opera, whatever, and I'm watching Madame Butterfly. If anyone doesn't know the story, it's the same as, there's also another musical out there. It's kind of not as good. It was called Miss Saigon. It was the same idea. This woman waiting for her soldier to return and all this other stuff, and he doesn't return, and then he returns with a different family because he ended up getting married somewhere, and it's just heartbreaking, right? And the whole story is just like heartbreaking, and I'm sitting there and I got tears streaming down my face when I'm watching this beautiful music, beautiful story. You could feel the pain and the longing in these actors and everything else, and the singers and whatever else, and I'm just like, there, you got me. When I'm playing a game, it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. If you can get me, you got me. Danny Passion, good evening. Big boy Barry's in the house. How you doing, buddy? So, like Ghost of Yote, go ahead, laugh. Everybody go ahead and laugh. Go ahead and laugh. I cried during some of the cutscenes because they're so gut-wrenching. No pun intended if you played the game. That I was in tears. I was thinking about my children. I was thinking about, my wife and I was thinking about my parents, because things happen in the game. I'm not going to spoil any of that stuff. But things happen in the game as you're progressing through or whatever else, and you start to feel like you're seeing what's happening, that like the actual cinematic cutscenes and stuff. Dude, the emotion, like the pain, the suffering, the longing, it's just so heartbreaking. At one point, I was in tears. I was just like, oh my God, this is getting to me, because I was thinking about my children. I was thinking about, them being left alone to fend for themselves because, whatever. And it was just like, it was wild, man. It was just like, it got to me. And it got to me. And then you feel that pain. You feel it. And if you feel it, you did your job. That's what Last of Us did. And we got another $5 super chat from Sabina's Finest. There we go. Sabina's Finest, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, brother. And he says, Mag, with Black Ops 7 coming out for Xbox One, what year do you think COD will be unplayable natively? No cloud streaming, no cheating, on the Xbox Series X. God bless. You know what? Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that, brother. You know what? Seeing as we're wrapping up this generation, basically, in the next 2 years, less than 2, well, it's November now, right? I would expect the new Xbox console, whatever the hell it is, PC, console, whatever, hardware. Let's just call it hardware, okay? I would expect the next generation Xbox hardware to come out this month, exactly this month, 2 years from now. Funky Playbox, you should try it sometime, dude. You should cry, man. Let it go. Just let it go. Let it all out. Magnum, you know what? You're going to be in big trouble tonight.
Why do you say this to me? When you know I will kill you for it.
You hear that, Magnum? Should I say it again?
Why do you say this to me? When you know I will kill you for it.
Magnum says, when people call video games art, I throw up in my mouth. That's ridiculous. It is art. How you doing, Legendary Yobi? How you doing, buddy? I appreciate you. It is art. But anyways. And we got Look at Me, the Broke Boys back again, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. Thank you so much, my friend. And he drops a $5 super chat. And he says, thank you very much, Broke Boy. You're awesome, man. And he says, I've got my 4th version of Yes. Yes. I've got my 4th version of Expedition 33, GameStop exclusive Lumiere edition. Lumiere is in like the candle from Beauty and the Beast. Just saying. Sorry. Sorry, the chat moved on your super chat. I got to move it back up. And he says, exclusive Lumiere edition, 2 more versions, PS5, Xbox, Amazon exclusive mirror editions on the way. Unbelievable. Listen, man, first of all, that's great. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it, brother. But also, remember, you're also supporting that developer as well, which is great. And I think, unlike Magnum...
You're fucking warned. Don't ever go over my fucking head again. You motherfucker, you.
Listen, man, Magnum's all on his own here tonight. He's the only mod in the chat. That guy's got his hands full. But anyways, it's that's another argument that you could say is for art, because you bought these collector's editions. I'm sure you're gonna put them on your shelf somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You're putting them on your shelf, you're doing this, you can look at them, you can pull them down, you can open the book, you can read it. You know what I mean? And if you adore the game that much and it connected with you that much, then that is fantastic. Then first of all, the game has done its job. And number one. And number two, you look at it as art yourself. Right? And you're looking at that and you're like, this is fantastic. This is what I got to do. Amazing. And Meat Puppet, he comes in, he's a member for 2 months. Thank you so much, brother. And he sends a member chat in, and he says, new Xbox hardware will probably be $1,500. Are you talking Canadian or US? You'll have to clarify that for me in the chat. Rush fan, how you doing, buddy? Fly by night away from here. After last night, I definitely can't do the Geddy Lee voice, man. It's too high. Meat Puppet, if you're talking American, then no. I'm going to say no on that one. It will not be that expensive. It will not be $1,500 US. Canadian, you're looking at like $1,700 Canadian. I mean, and if anybody thinks that that's nuts, let me put something in perspective for you guys. The PS5 Pro was $1,200 in Canada with tax and everything else. It was $1,200. The Switch 2 with the Mario bundle and one game. I mean, well, I guess 2 games technically, because you got Mario bundle and I got Donkey Kong, $900. Mind you, I got that monster trade-in, which I told you guys about. But either way, it was $900. So in Canada, absolutely, I think it'll be well over $1,500 in Canada. Absolutely. In the United States, no. I would say somewhere around the range of $8.99 to $11.99, I believe, is the target that I'm not supposed to tell you guys. Someone from Microsoft internal did tell me that they're targeting $8.99 to $11.99. It doesn't mean it's a fact. It's just that that's their target. So let me know in the chat there, Meat Puppet, what you're talking about there, brother. And yes, Snow Dragon, that is Zod from Superman. So if you piss me off, you're gonna get Zod.
Why do you say this to me when you know I will kill you for it?
That's right. And then we got Cruxton coming in with a $5 super chat. Yo, Cruxton! How you doing, buddy? Thank you so much. And he says, thank you for the $5 super chat, brother. And he says, here is to the Mag Cod Fund. Great show so far. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you very much, Cruxton. And thank you also for being a channel member as well. And we've got Voyager 88, ladies and gentlemen. And he comes in. He is a top-tier maggot for the last 4 months. That is a man who's been here from day one. The minute I got monetized, he was one of the first people to send in the super chat. He goes, Mag, let's go. Let's get this party started, brother. Thank you so much for that, Voyager 88. And he says, once again, 4 months. Dude, you're an amazing supporter of the channel. Absolutely love you and adore you. Thank you so much. Danny Passion, what are you saying there? Did I finish Expedition 33? I have not. It was one of those games that fell on the backlog. It became a victim of my backlog. However, I've got to get back into it because when I was playing it, I think I put in like 12 hours or something like that. So I was about halfway through the game and I was mesmerized the whole time. I was just like this. You know those games that you play where your mouth is kind of open the whole time? And not like in a goofy, like silly way, like, you know what I mean? Like your just mouth is open because you're just so in tuned with what's happening. I was like this. I was like a zombie. I was like, that's what I look like playing that game. And there's very few games that do that to me. Last of Us is one of those games. Expedition 33 did that. And then I got distracted. And I'll tell you why I got distracted. I got distracted because I started doing reviews, and the reviews that I had were I did Doom, The Dark Ages. I had to review that, so I had to get that done in a timely manner. I was also reviewing at that time as well South of Midnight. By the way, best Xbox game of this year. I'm just telling you that now. I mean, outside of Call of Duty. But you know what the funny thing is? Call of Duty is like my favorite chicks. They're for the streets. You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty's for the streets. It's everybody's game. You know what? And I'm unapologetic about it, eh? I don't give a shit what anybody says. I think South of Midnight is in the top 3 best Xbox games this generation. The number 1 game this generation from Xbox, bar none, absolutely bar none, is Psychonauts 2. Best game of this generation for Xbox. Nothing comes close to Psychonauts 2. And I got to put in the top 3, I got to put in South of Midnight. I thought it was such a charming game. I literally played it twice. And that's rare, especially like for someone who's reviewing it like myself. I actually did a full review and I'll hold the whole thing and the whole 9 yards. And I could not stop. I could not stop playing that game. I loved it. And look at me, the broke boy comes back in with another $5 super chat. Jeez Louise, you guys are on fire tonight. My goodness, my goodness. Thank you so much, my friend. And look at me, the broke boy. He says, and thank you, Game Pass, because if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for it, I would never have played that game. That is true. I will give Game Pass that, even though I'm not a fan of the pricing. I'm not against the service. See, people get that mixed up. People get it twisted in their minds, and they're like, just because I criticize the pricing and everything else, and I'm like, well, it's the pricing. I have a problem with the pricing. Doesn't mean I have a problem with the service. And there's a lot of games in there that you'll play that you'll be like, I never would have played this game had I not discovered it on Game Pass, and you discovered it. So there you go. Broke Boy says that. And he says, I would have never played the game. Not a fan of turn-based. Either am I, but I was a fan of this one. Not a fan of turn-based, but on Game Pass figured, why not? There you go. So there's a success story, ladies and gentlemen. So once in a while, you get a Game Pass success story like that, where you got someone who was exposed to a game they never probably would have purchased. They would have overlooked it. Even if it wins Game of the Year, people still overlook the stuff because you're like, maybe I'll get to it one day. I don't know, maybe. And then you get distracted and then you never go back to it, right? And what happens here in this situation? Broke Boy discovered the game, fell in love with it, and now he's got 4 bloody editions, special editions of the game coming to his house because it got to him. It touched his soul. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. That's what I'm talking about, brother. I appreciate that. What's Daryl saying in the chat here? He's saying, going to be sticking to my current console's PC for a while. Smart move, dude. Smart move. That's what I would do. Here, Broke Boy, this is for you, buddy. There you go, buddy. You got a rare achievement. That's for your super chat. Thank you so much, man. And I'm glad you discovered Expedition 33. And we got Grumpy Old Fart coming in. He drops in a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. And also, thank you for stopping by the show well, it wasn't really a show. The live stream last night of myself, Noof, my wife, and the doctor going absolutely buck wild in the bar. And he says, no comments. I'm working. You do your thing. Alex, I don't know what the hell's going on with you in the chat there. He says, Mag, do you see me? I see you. Are you saying something in there? Yeah, I see you just fine. Are you asking me questions? Because the chat is moving pretty quick, so I'm not seeing everything. So, I mean, like I'm looking at the screen, and you might have asked me a question like 5 minutes ago, and I didn't see it. So there's that, too. But anyways, either way. If you have a question, ask me. I'll find it. Don't worry about it. Eugenia, girls. He's saying, what's the difference between Canadian money and Monopoly money? Well, they are the same colors. I'll say that much. Voyager 88, that show's coming, dude. I haven't even announced the name yet, but I will be announcing it tonight. So thank you for reminding me. And we got Leslie dropping in. Leslie, a big supporter of the channel as well. Thank you so much, Leslie. You are awesome, my friend. And he drops an Australian $10 super chat. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your support. And, of course, Leslie was on my last live stream when I was doing Borderlands and just dropping support bombs like a madman. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate all the support, guys. It has been absolutely amazing tonight. Thank you so much. And then we've got Top Gamer Pro. And he comes in. Thank you so much. Where are you? Where did you go, Top Gamer Pro? There you are, buddy. He's a member for 2 months, and he sends a member chat, and he says, hey, Mag, is there any truth to what I've seen about? What have you seen about what? The Xbox Series X overheating? Seriously, no. I have never heard of an Xbox Series X overheating. I have not. Xbox Series X, I think, is one of their best built consoles they've ever come out with. It runs cool. I've had it for 5 years. It's sitting right over there. Even the Series X, I've never... Funny enough, actually, the Series X tends to heat up a little bit. Like, I feel the heat coming off the Series X a little bit. Sorry, the Series S, which I also have over there in the corner. I got a little table over there of all the consoles. They're all attached over there. And so I have them over there, and the Series S gets hot when you're playing it. I feel like it's overworking or something, right? But the Series X, nah, bro. That thing is as cool as a cucumber, baby. So, yes. It runs real quiet, smooth. It runs cool. The ventilation system is outstanding in that unit, so it's really, really great. Great, well-built console, I'll tell you that much. I just wish the company that owns the goddamn thing would do a little bit better job of their marketing, and of course, their messaging would be a lot more appreciated. But the console itself is one hell of a well-built console, that's for sure. I hope that answers your question there, Top Gamer Pro, because I haven't heard of any issues with the Series X. I may be mistaken. Obviously, there's always going to be an issue somewhere. It might be a faulty unit or whatever, but there's nothing that's rampant enough that it would actually be a situation. So, yeah. Oh, and Meat Puppet drops a... Dude, you didn't have to drop another $5 super chat to say that. You could have just said it in the chat, but thank you so much, Meat Puppet. And he sends in a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Meat Puppet. And he says, Mag, I meant $1,500 US dollars. I only went that high to account for inflation. No. There is no chance in hell. I don't believe it. I don't believe for a minute that Microsoft, as ridiculous as they can be sometimes, I do not think that they would ever release a $1,500 PC console hybrid. There's no way in hell. They're already going to have enough trouble selling these things as it is. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean because of the price point and because there's still that public perception out there. A lot of people don't trust them anymore. They're like, I don't know, man. Like I said, all you have to do is go watch those big YouTubers that are not like, you know, they're sort of console agnostic when they do their shows or when they do their videos and stuff. They don't really give a shit. But at the same time, they always manage to slip in that whenever they talk about Microsoft, they go, well, you know, if you can actually believe what they say. And you're like, holy shit. So like even the bit like you know what I mean? Like there's that public perception out there that's gotten to the point where it's totally wild, where you're just like, you know what I mean? Like people that have trust issues with them, they have you know, they have messaging issues, marketing issues, and then on top of that, if they were to drop a $1,500 console, might as well just call it a fucking day, bro. Excuse my language. Did you see that? A little gift showed up on the screen too. How cute is that when someone gifts a member? I will get to those a little bit later. So yes, I don't think it'll be $1,500 US. The internal pricing target, from what I heard from someone at Microsoft, a higher up at Microsoft, has said that they're targeting $899 to $1,199. Does not mean that's the final price. It's just their initial targeting. So however people want to feel about that, you feel about that. You can run with it. I don't really care because I'm not reporting that. It's just what they talk about, because every time I report shit like that, people freak the F out. And then you know what happens? Like a year and a half later, 2 years later, when I'm right, well, it's not really me, right? It's the guy who told me. And I'm like, but you know what I mean? When I get proven right, everybody forgot I said it to begin with. So I'm like, oh, forget it. It's not even worth it anymore. But either way, that's the internal market. That's the internal target that they're marketing right now, $899 to $1,199. So it's quite the situation. But we will see. $1,500, no chance, dude. But like I said, in Canada, god damn it, we're gonna get destroyed. That's gonna be an almost $2,000 console if you think about that. Like even if it was $1,100 US, in Canada that's $1,700 with tax and of course the conversion rate on top of that. So the conversion rate plus the egregious tax here in Ontario, Canada, it's gonna be like $1,700 console. Like what are we talking about here? That's insane.
You shall not pass!
That's insane. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe this. We've got Cerebral Paul. He comes in. Cerebral Paul, Cerebral Paul, Cerebral Paul, Cerebral Paul. There we go. Cerebral Paul has become a top-tier mega. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Paul. You are awesome. And listen, dude, we got to do some more Borderlands, man. That was a lot of fun, but we got to get your horribly annoying voice on there so that everybody can be just as annoyed as I am when we have to talk to you. Paul, I love you. You were such. Listen, man. Paul and I bust each other's balls all the time. All right. So like when him and I get together, it's just nonstop ball busting. It must be the Italian thing because he's Italian too. I'm Italian, and when we talk, every third word to each other is some kind of an insult. So that's how Paul and I talk to each other. But anyways, Paul, thank you so much for becoming top tier maggot, man. I really appreciate that, brother. And we've got Danny Passion coming in with a $2 super chat. Thank you, my brother. Danny Passion, by the way, great work. Great work that I saw that the videography that you do is wonderful. Great work there. Thank you for sending me some of those samples. They were really nice to look at. Danny Passion says, did you finish that? You already asked me this question, Danny Passion. Do I have to get angry? All right, I won't get angry.
Why do you say this to me when you know I will kill you for it?
Danny Passion says, did you finish Expedition 33? If not, are you planning to do so? Absolutely, I'm planning to do so. I just got to get back to it, that's all. And I was initially playing it on Game Pass. So when it came out, because during that time, as I was saying earlier, I'm not going to repeat the whole story, but during that time when I was there on the service, and then of course I was getting review copies to review games. I reviewed Doom: The Dark Ages. I reviewed South of Midnight, and at the same time Expedition 33 was out. So kind of I got about halfway through the game, and then I got bogged down with the reviews, and then I couldn't finish the game. So, and then the rest of the year, I just got slapped in the ass over and over with all these great games, and it kind of slipped through the cracks. I have to get back to it. But either way, I absolutely would do. Thank you, Danny Passion. I appreciate that, brother. And look at me, the broke boy is on fire tonight. This guy is out of control, ladies and gentlemen, and he drops another $2 super chat. He says, look at the pics I just sent you in the message when you have time. I absolutely will. And listen, if you send me pics, make sure that they're dick pics, all right? That's I only accept dick pics, not. Listen, man, you're only going to hear stuff like that on the Mag Show, okay? You're not going to hear this from any self-respecting podcaster. Those guys are lame. You're going to sit there and talk about games? We're going to talk about funny stuff. Anyways, thank you, Broke Boy. I appreciate that. I will definitely check him in a minute. Because we're going to get to Phil Spencer now, as soon as I catch up with all these super chats. And we got Cyber Gunter, also a member for 4 months. Thank you so much, brother. You are such a huge supporter of the channel as well. And he says, happy gaming to all the maggots. Yes, my friend, absolutely. Happy gaming to all the maggots. It's almost like it's Christmas in here today. Everybody's out of control, man. It's wild. The presents are just coming in.
Be stoned for Christmas.
That's right. And we've got Arrow Nation coming in and dropping a member. He's a 2-month member, by the way. And he sends in a member chat and he says, thank you so much, Arrow Nation. And he says, Mag, we grinding some zombies Friday. Yes, we are. Also, great show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will like and subscribe to my own channel right now. Let me just do that here. Like, click, and subscribe, click, and there we go. All right, that's it. Thank you so much, Arrow Nation. You are awesome, brother. I appreciate that very much so. And we've got Leslie coming in. This guy is unbelievable, and he's dropping in another 5 gifted members to the channel. Thank you so much, Leslie. Huge supporter. Unbelievable. Thank you. And we always do it, not just for the hobbits. We don't just do it for Middle-earth. We do it for Gondor. We do it for Gondor.
For Gondor! For Gondor! Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
And that's right. Welcome to hell, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got Alex in there receiving a membership. We've got Mr. Santo. Bring me a dream. Mr. Santo is a member of the channel now. We've got Jose Josama. He just got one as two. And we've got, how do I say this? Is it Platanoj? Or Platano J? Maybe it's that. I don't know. Will you tell me in the chat? Either way, you're a member now. Absolutely amazing. And then we've got Psych Doc as well. Also a member of the channel. Amazing. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. And then right off the heels of that, we got Cyber Gunter dropping a $2 super chat. And he says, keep up the good work. Let me tell... Cyber Gunter, I will not have you sending me super chats while your pick is a pick of the LA Dodgers.
You're fucking warned. Don't ever go over my fucking head again. You motherfucker, you.
Cyber Gunter, I need you to remove that LA Dodgers thing from your profile pic. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to have Magnum ban you. G.I. Joe is in the chat. How you doing, buddy? Listen to the new members, and thank you guys so much. Leslie, thank you also for the gifted members, and of course all the new members as well as Cerebral Paul and everybody else. Listen, you now have access to my members only videos. I will be doing a cooking video this weekend. This weekend. I'll be doing another cooking video. All the members get those first. You obviously get the emojis. And then on top of that, you also have access now to my members only Discord, which is a lot of fun. It's a great Discord that we have going on over there. So go check that out. Now that you're a member, you can add yourself in there. The family will take you in with open arms because that's what we do. And there'll be more perks coming in the new year, by the way. Also, when I do online gaming, when I do like multiplayer gaming and stuff like that, channel members get first dibs on squatting up. Top tier maggots get absolute. They get to pick with impunity whatever I'm playing. They get first access to everything. The top tier maggots, and then all the other channel members are also welcome as well. And you guys all get first dibs whenever we do online playing, and that's what's going on. So it's awesome. The Blue Jays lose. What are you going to do? Listen, man, the Dodgers didn't win. The Blue Jays beat themselves. They did. They beat themselves. They beat themselves. The Jays have only themselves to blame. How do you leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth inning with no outs and not score a single fucking run? And then you get to the 11th inning and you have the bases loaded with one out and you couldn't score a single run to win the World Series. All you needed was a fly ball, you idiots! So they beat themselves. They deserved it. They deserved to lose. They deserve to lose. Bradward Fights in the chat. How you doing, buddy? But anyways, let's get back to some gaming talk. We got some things to talk about here. So we talked about Black Ops 7 and how that's going to be a great game. I can't say that it's going to be a great game. That's not fair to say. The value proposition is there. You're offering 4 different game modes in one game. Oh, Rush fan, absolutely. The Jays are going to win the World Series next year. They're going to get their shit together. They're going to get a couple more guys, and they'll be just fine. So we talked about Black Ops 7. Let's get into Phil Spencer, and then we're going to get into the Steam machine. Okay, we're going to talk about all those things right now. And by the way, thank you guys all for all the support, all the super chats, gifted members, even just joining the channel. Absolutely amazing. You guys are incredible. By the way, starting in January 2026, for the channel members, starting in January, I will start doing quarterly giveaways, whether it's universal gift cards. And I mean, universal is like you can use them in any country, the United States, Canada, whatever, for like Xbox, for Game Pass, for PlayStation, for Steam, and then I'll also be doing game giveaways at some point. When a big game comes out, I'll do a game giveaway for channel members. Everybody's got a chance to win. We'll do it live on the air right here on MAGGCAST. And actually, there's something else I actually want to tell you guys now that I'm talking about MAGGCAST and whatever else and the channel members and all that stuff. Because I want to do more and more. Because when I'm trying to build up this channel with a solid foundation. And when I got that solid foundation, I'm going to build up from there. And it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the point is that once I reach a certain amount of members, which I am, then I want to start giving back. More so than just my time. You know what I mean? More so than just my time. It's also like, doing the show, doing everything else, talking to people in the Discord, DMs, all that kind of stuff, playing games together. We're going to start doing some more giveaways for people, for channel members out there, giving you more incentive. You know what I'm saying? So like when a big game comes out, I'll be like, hey, yo, I'm giving away a copy of 007. Who wants it? Let's go, channel members. You know what I'm saying? Have a good old time, baby. But anyways, let's talk about Phil Spencer and the Steam machine situation. And listen, let's be honest. Normally, I'm very, I'm pretty hard on the guy, right? I'm pretty hard on the guy. I think that the Xbox brass has not done a good job since the Xbox 360. And I'm not saying the Xbox has not done a good job. I said the brass, the people in charge, have not really pulled their weight the way that they should have. That's how I personally feel. And I've been really hard on Phil Spencer and of course Sarah Bond. I don't trust her as far as I can throw. I gotta tell you that right now. I don't trust her either. Satya's got his own thing. He's got nothing to do with it. Listen, he's doing his own thing. He's over there. I think that Matt Booty trying to oversee all these different projects is just too much. The guy's spread out too thin, man. What did Bilbo Baggins say in The Lord of the Rings? I feel like butter spread over too much toast. That's kind of like what Matt Booty was doing. I think that, Greenberg, nice guy and everything else, but their marketing and their messaging is fucking awful. So, you know what I mean? I've been hard on those guys. But I think some people, let's be fair now, let's be fair. I do believe that what Phil Spencer said today did not deserve all that hate that he got. I think that was kind of crazy. Fuzzy tomato and noisy mofo. How you guys doing? And Seth Monster's in the house. How you doing, buddy? I don't think Phil Spencer deserved all that hate today. I think that was a little over the top ridiculous. I mean, it was kind of fun. Like, some of the jokes were funny. Like, when they were... If you go to the comments section of, like, on Twitter, people were sending pictures of him sitting in a cuck chair and stuff like that when he was talking about the Steam machine. And I'm like, that's kind of funny. Like, let's face it, that's funny. Just for jokes, just having some fun. But still, he didn't deserve the hate that he got. Like, the guy put out a nice little message out there, and he said what he said. Yeah, I know Dallas has got it right. Did they have marketing? Yeah, no shit, right? Funky Playbox, I'll stop saying hard on, sorry. But anyways, the point is that Phil said what he said, and I'll read it out to you guys. I was going to pull it up on the screen, but I'm like, what's the point? I'll just read it out to you guys. But either way, the point is, Phil made a statement when they announced the launch of the Steam machine or whatever, right? And he put out a nice message. It was a nice message. I thought it was a nice thing. And the comment section, shut up, Phil. Go to hell, Phil. Shut up, loser. Burn in hell. Cuck and all this other stuff. I'm like, guys, calm the fuck down. It's not that serious, bro. Just chill out, man. People were losing their minds on this poor guy. Anyways, I'm going to read what he says. He's always been that way. He's consistent. Yeah, Rush fan. He's like, I think Phil can't get a break. Yeah, listen, I think he means well. And I really do mean this. I really do mean this from the bottom of my heart. I think he means well. Just the execution's not there. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a nefarious... He doesn't come across to me as like a nefarious kind of person or whatever. I don't know him personally. I've had a few interactions with him, but very brief interactions with him. And you know what I mean? And like, I think he means well. It just, like I said, the execution's just not there. However, let's get into this. So what he does is he talks today about the Steam machine, right? And he put out this statement. I'll read it to you verbatim. If I could speak. Mind you, after last night. So Phil Spencer says this, and he quote tweets the Valve Steam machine, right? He says, quote, gaming moves forward when players and developers have more ways to play and create, especially across open platforms. Yeah, you know what though? You see that little statement right there? That's him taking a dig at like the Sony Nintendo exclusivity stuff. I think that was a bit of a dig. What do you guys think? That's a bit of a dig. Gaming moves forward when players and developers have more ways to play and create, especially across open platforms. Expanding access across PC, console, and handheld devices reflects a future built on choice, core values that have guided Xbox's vision from the start. As one of the largest publishers on Steam, we welcome new options for players to access games everywhere. Congrats on today's announcement. Okay, so that's not so bad. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Noisy Mofo, what is your problem, dude? He's like, still disappointed in you, Meg. For what? What did I do?
Why do you say this to me when you know I will kill you for it?
Noisy Mofo, you better tell me why you're disappointed in me. You don't leave me hang. You don't put a message like that in the chat. True Devil Dog. He says it's always the nice ones you got to watch out for. Yeah, you're not wrong. Grandpa Barbecue. How you doing, buddy? See, Big Boy Barry saying the same thing. He goes, that's not even a bit. That was a jab. You see, the thing is, you got, let's face it. Okay, fine. You know what? The statement wasn't that bad, and I didn't think he deserved all the hate that he got. Like the aggressive hate that he got for that statement. But that is a bit dickish, too. Like, you're taking a dig at companies that are kicking your fucking teeth in. Excuse my language. Jeez. Sorry. My social filter's a little off today, folks. So I'm a little bit physically and mentally compromised after last night's shenanigans. So you're taking a dig at the two companies that are kicking your teeth in that respect. In the respect of you tried to play their game, so to speak, and they beat the crap out of you. So you take a dig at them for that? Come on. That's not nice. So I'll give him that. I'll just say that was like a nice way of being a bit dickish. But when he says something like this, when he says, expanding access across PC, console, and handheld devices reflects a future built on choice. Yes and no. And I will sort of take that apart. I'll take that apart a little bit. Could be a Stone Cold Stunner. Yeah, I know, no, a Voyager, no filter zone. I know. That's what the MAGGCAST is always going to be. But still, my brain's a little wobbly. So anyways, that's their future. And that's something that needs to be pointed out. That's something that needs to be discussed more. Something that needs to be compartmentalized to what they're doing. And it's something that I've noticed some people think, oh, well, that's the future. No. That's their future. And that's totally fine. Don't get that twisted. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm not saying that. That's their future. You have to learn, not you guys. You guys rock. I'm talking about other people. You have to learn how to compartmentalize statements and what these companies are doing. I used that word twice in 1 minute. I shouldn't have been doing that. But either way, that's what you do. Right? That's their future. That's Microsoft's future. Not PlayStation's future. That's not Nintendo's future. They're going to go do their own things. And Microsoft is going to go do their own respective thing. Whatever it takes to make money, that's what they're all going to do, right? But when a company does something like that, and you're a fan of that company, and there's no problem with that, obviously. But you can't blanket statement that that's the future, everybody's going to do it, that's the way it's going to be. No, that is not how it works. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. PlayStation is going to continue doing what they're doing. Their next console is going to be a console. It is going to be a traditional console with traditional exclusives, and those games, yes, their games will eventually make their way over to the Xbox PC thing, because you're going to be able to access those PC storefronts to be able to buy those games. But you ain't playing Wolverine when you get the unit. You know what I mean? You're not going to be doing any of that stuff. You're not playing Last of Us 3. You're not going to be playing Intergalactic, whatever, the Beastie Boys song there. Intergalactic. Yeah, the cross-buy thing. Yeah, that's a whole other thing, Voyager. But yeah, that's something that's going to be utilized throughout their ecosystem, because they are going to be coming out with a console and a handheld, right? And that handheld is obviously going to have access to maybe the PC storefronts. I'm not really 100% sure exactly what's going on there. We have to wait because they don't even have, like, this thing's not even close to being done. Neither console is close to being done. What they're doing right now, those things are still in the virtual stage, where they're taking the virtual parts of it and they're putting it together to see how it would operate and whatever else. So they haven't even, like, built a prototype or anything. So it's not even there yet. So we'll find out over time. But what I'm trying to get at here is that when Phil says something like that, reflects a future built on choice, core values, and it's expanding access across PC, console, and handheld devices reflects a future built on choice. Yes, to be fair, there's also another part of that. A future built on choice. You have a choice to go buy a PlayStation. You have a choice to go buy an Xbox. And you certainly have a choice to go buy a Nintendo. Or you have a choice to go to the computer, to a computer store, a PC store, and buy yourself and build a PC. Or buy a pre-built one. Those are choices too. And now in a different way, outside of Nintendo, because Nintendo doesn't do, their stuff doesn't end up, you're not playing Zelda on the PC. I mean, unless you get one of those hacked bullshit ones or whatever. Right? And then PlayStation's doing what they're doing. They're going to be doing exclusives, and then they launch them on PC later. So by default, an Xbox player will be able to play all those PlayStation games. You're going to have to buy them. But you will be able to access all those games on your Xbox PC thing, right? So there are choices. There are choices out there. But what he says in that statement, it sounded like a little bit of a pink. You know what I mean? Like he's just saying, this is how it should be. And it's like, no, bro, that's how it should be for you. You tried playing the other guy's games and you lost. So now you got to find a different avenue. And they have. Microsoft has found a different avenue. And it's working just fine for them. Their Xbox console hardware thing has failed. But the rest of the division is doing fine. Xbox is doing fine. They're making a lot of money. They're making billions of dollars. PC Game Pass and PC engagement on Xbox is up. Right? Their monthly active users are up. Not a lot, but up. You know what I mean? It's still up. Game Pass subscribers, I don't know what the numbers are. It's a far cry from what they did even last generation. Like this generation is the worst generation. Like in terms of their numbers and stuff like that, console sales, things like that. But it's hard to kind of determine that as well, because the thing is, like, you got to look at that and you got to think to yourself, well, wait a minute. In a traditional sense, it would be considered the worst generation. But then when you think about it, because they've expanded off the PC and other areas and other access points to their product, how can you gauge what they do now? Because before it was very simple. You counted how many consoles were sold, you counted how many games were sold, and all the money added up, and that's who won a generation. It was pretty simple. But now that they've added all these access points to different things, smart TVs, monitors, tablets, phones, handhelds, all this other kind of stuff, how do you keep track of all that stuff? But then the thing is, you know what? Do you really have to keep track of it? As long as they're making money and doing well enough to be able to continue on moving forward, and you'll be able to, and if you're an Xbox fan, you'll be able to get those products moving forward. That's all you should care about as a consumer. You should care enough that you're going to be getting the product that you can continue to utilize that product. That's what I do. I don't give a shit about, how the money was divvied up for this game and that game or whatever, how much profit went over here and where did it go over there. I don't care about that stuff. All I care is, were you successful enough to make me more games for the future so that I can keep playing games until I'm dead? That's it. That's all I care about. You give me that guarantee and that reassurance, then that's fine. And so Xbox is successful in their own way, doing their own thing. And like I said, they're tackling it from a different angle because they couldn't play the same game that PlayStation and Nintendo do. So what do? They went off-road and they started going for access points instead of, well, we can't compete with them head on. Phil said it himself. He goes, we can't compete with them in the same, like in that style of market. So they didn't even, they're still offering it. Like next generation, you're still going to get a console. However, their internal projections are looking at 10 to 12 million units. That's not a lot. That's 1/3 of what it is now. But as you can see, the steady decline in hardware over the last 3 generations. The 360 being the pinnacle, and then it went down from obviously significantly on the Xbox One, and then it went down even more significantly this generation. However, more people are accessing their Xbox on PC now. You see what I'm saying? So there are choices there, and you have those options, so that's fine. But I still think that regardless of this whole rant that I just did for the last 5 minutes, I still think that what Phil said here was a bit of a jab. So maybe he deserves a little bit of smoke, but at the same time, he still congratulated the Steam machine, and he was still nice about it, and you know what I mean? He's playing corporate nice with the other company. I think that's nice. I still think it's a nice thing to say. Just me. I thought it was a little over the top. That's all I'm trying to say. I just think that some people's reactions were just way over the top. Like, like the guy says it like, congratulations, Valve, on your new box. And then the first comment's like, fuck you, Phil. And I'm like, holy Jesus, man. Dude, go get laid or something. Bro, you got too much, like, testosterone built up inside of you or something. I don't know. Anyways, enough of that. I just wanted to talk about that briefly. I just think that a lot of that stuff was a little bit over the top. Jesse James in the chat, he's saying, hi, Jesse James. How you doing, buddy? He says, the excitement I see from the Steam machine bodes well for the next Xbox. It's all going to come down. I'll tell you what it's all going to come down to, guys. I'm going to agree with you and disagree with you. And I'll give you my reasons. Hear me out. The reasons are this. There's excitement out there, but price in the end will always be king. That will be the deciding factor of how these things do. Snow Dragon, he says, I think the first reply was Crap Gamer. Actually, I think it was. He didn't say fuck you to Phil or whatever, but he did say something funny. Oh. Eugenia Girls, you're absolutely correct. Everyone tell Xbox the next name should be called the MAGGCAST. Rare achievement unlocked for Eugenia Girls there. Thank you so much. Listen, Jesse James, here's the thing. There's going to be excitement for the unit because it's going to be an access point for the current generation, especially like the extreme hardcore who want to get in there, like the 5% outside of the 15% hardcore who are going to go buy this unit day one. They're the same people who bought the ROG Ally X. They got the money for it, and they're willing to spend it. That's fine. Do whatever you got to do. Everybody, as a consumer, you are free to choose whatever you feel like doing. Wonderful, right? However, beyond that, this is where you're going to start getting into trouble. You start charging what we would presume at, like I told you before, the targets between $8.99 and $11.99. And there's going to be two models, by the way. There's going to be a smaller one and a larger one. Right? If you start charging $1,000 and whatever else, and like let's say there's a $600 one and it's not nearly as good or whatever, you're going to fall into the same situation that you did with the Series S. Right? And then, I'm not saying there's a difference in, I don't know. We don't know anything about it. I'm just saying that, like, price is going to be a situation. But if you start charging like upwards of $1,000 or more, let's just say, for something like that, excitement is going to be dampened very, very quickly when people can't afford the damn thing. It's got nothing to do with the excitement per se. It's got more to do with the fact that, oh man, that's so awesome. I wish I could buy one. It's just like seeing a Ferrari. You see a Ferrari roll down the road, you go, oh, snap, look at that. That's a beautiful car. Wow. And you get all excited. You're like, look at that. I wish I could buy one. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. It's like you just can't, you know what I mean? Because, I can tell you right now, I've spoken to a lot of people. I've spoken to a lot of people offline in the DMs and stuff, people that listen to the show, friends of mine, fans, whatever. I've spoken to everybody. And a lot of people are like, hey, man, I really like the idea of this Ally X thing. I just wish I could afford it. It's a reality for a lot of people. And if you got casuals out there, casuals ain't spending $1,000 and up US to fart around with games twice a week. You know what I'm saying? That's insanity. It's not going to happen. Sorry, it's not going to happen. As excited as you can be, and then it's like me getting excited about a 5090. Ooh, a 5090, look at this thing. Oh, it's a beast. I can do all these great things on it, this and that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I can't fucking afford it. A 5090 starts at $2,500 here in Canada. I saw one on the shelf at Canada Computer. There's a retail store in Canada that does only PCs, and it's called Canada Computers. And it was right there. I was buying something else there. I was buying a patch cable for one of my monitors or some shit, right? So I was just buying the cable, and I looked up and I see a 59. It was $3,000. I can't afford that. I'd love to play on a 5090. Sure, it's exciting. But I can't afford a $3,000 graphics card. That's insane. What are we talking about? I could buy a Kia for that.
Welcome
You know what I
to
mean?
hell, motherfucker!
Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, Jesse James, I wasn't trying to shit all over your comment. I was just saying there's excitement there. And I think, now here's the thing. When we get into the Steambox talk, Steambox, the Steam machine, whatever you want to call it. I think I was a little mistaken when I did my video earlier today. Got a lot of views, but like I kind of feel a little embarrassed about it now. Because as people were starting to point out the specs to me afterward, because I said I'm not a tech guy. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm not a tech guy. You could talk about VRAM up your ass all day long. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm a boots on the ground gamer that doesn't know shit. I know some things, obviously. I'm not an idiot, but I mean, you know, I run a high-powered PC and everything else for this show and for YouTube and whatever else. And I got all this, I got all this tech equipment here that I know how to utilize all that stuff. But if you start breaking down into the little components and stuff, I don't know what you're talking about. But I know about RAM. I know about but when you start breaking it down even further than that, 28 compute units. What the fuck does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm a fraud. Anyways, I've never claimed to be like a hardcore tech guy. I've been on shows where guys start talking about PC tech and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Like, I'm sitting there on the panel. And you could see like the blank look on my face. I'm like this. Like they're talking about there's 1.67 mesh shaders that go onto this and that, whatever, and the compute units, and blah blah blah, and they're talking all this shit, and I'm sitting there going, what the fuck is going on? And then there's like times I'm sitting there and I'm like, why am I on this show? I don't know what the hell why did they ask me to go on this show? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh, Snow Dragon, you're right. And we've got James Black. Drops a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, James Black. There we go. James Black 94 to be exact, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. And he says, Xbox doesn't make console selling exclusives besides COD. If every game they've released in the past 2 years were exclusive, the console would still flop. Yeah, it would. Yeah. Like I was just trying to sit there and I was trying to analyze what you said. If you're talking about specifically the console, yes. Because they're like I said, their messaging and their marketing and everything around it they're just not good at it. And it's a shame because their games are actually rated very well. Thank you, James Black, for that. I appreciate it. Jesse James is selling his Xbox Series X to pay for the hybrid. Yeah, that's a good move. I mean, that's what I do. Like, whenever a new tech comes out, I trade in the old tech. Like, I traded in the Switch 1 OLED, and I got the Switch 2 for, like, literally 65-70% cheaper because I traded that in with a shitload of games, and it was like a double value trade-in day. I got like $600 trade-in on all that stuff. And I got the Switch 2 for $300 Canadian, which is like $200 US. And I got the Switch 2 with Donkey Kong and Mario Kart for $300 Canadian dollars. So that's about $200 US. So yes, I would do that too. When I got the PS5 Pro, I traded in my PS5 digital. So I had a digital PS5. I traded that in. I put it towards the PS5 Pro, and I got the Pro. And when a PS6 comes out, I'm going to trade in the PS5 Pro. I'm going to get maximum trade-in value for that. And if I don't, then I'll sell it on Facebook Marketplace for $400. Maybe even $500. Where are you going to find a PS5 Pro for $500 Canadian, tax in? No tax. What do I mean tax in? I'm selling it on Facebook Marketplace. I could easily do that and then put that towards a PS6. I'm going to get my Series X and my Series S if I get good trade-ins on that. and it's not too expensive, I would consider getting that next Xbox PC hybrid. If not, what I'm going to do is get rid of the S, and I'm going to keep the Series X, because the Series X and S will continue to be supported well into the next generation. So it's going to be supported into the 2030s, so I'll just keep my Series X. And if there's anything that's too demanding on it or whatever else, they're probably going to use some kind of a cloud integration. I don't know. Whatever the hell they got, whatever the hell those wizards got working on over there, whatever Gandalf is doing over there. Whatever Gandalf's doing over there at Xbox with the new console. But yeah, I trade in old tech or current tech for new tech, absolutely. And it takes a little bit of a bite out of the cost, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. By the way, Broke Boy, I see the DMs you sent me. They are not of your crotch. He actually sent me some really cool... he actually sent me some really cool stuff from the South of Midnight Collector's Edition that has like albums, LPs, books. It has graphic art. It has posters. It's amazing, dude. That South of Midnight Special Edition is incredible. Thank you for sending that to me. I really appreciate looking at that. That was wonderful. Nick Nax in the chat says, I'm going to get a Series X in a few years after they raise the price. Oh my God. You made me laugh. Thank you. I appreciate that. Seth Monster saying, I'm getting ready to turn off my Xbox and exclusively use the ROG for a month. Cool. Cool. Did I see T-Rock in the chat somewhere? I know K-Rock was here somewhere. He is. T-Rock 40's here. How you doing, buddy? Xbox Gamers in the house. I got a Series X for $350 2 years ago. I might get more than I paid for it. You know what, dude? True story. True story. There you go. You got Xbox Gamer. You just got a rare achievement. I'll give you another one. Why not? 100 achievement points for that comment. Actually, somebody on Xbox reached out to me today and says if I wanted to play Arc Raiders with him tomorrow. I'm saying yes, I will. He could show me the ropes. Courtesy of Seth Monster, of course, who bought the game for me. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. So let's talk about the Steam machine. So the Steam machine thing came out today. I made a video about it, got a lot of views, whatever else, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting here yip-yapping away about this thing. And like I said, I don't know much about specs and stuff like that. I mean, I know some of it, whatever. And I'm sitting here going, it might be anywhere between $600 and $1,000. We don't know. Like, depends on how powerful this thing is and all this. But then when people who actually know tech reached out to me and says, Mag, this thing is barely above a Series S. It's barely it's not even on par with a Series X or a base PS5. And I'm like going, oh. I'm like, okay. So this is a whole different thing now. So now I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, shit, I guess I was 100% wrong. Jason Max is in the chat. How you doing, Jason Max? Brandon Christensen, listen. First of all, by the way, guys, I'm doing a show with Gaz on Saturday. So some people want to come out and hang out with me and support me over there because I know some of Gaz's viewers hate me. But usually when I go on shows where I know the crowd doesn't like me, I don't read the chat. But anyways, I didn't know much about this thing. So when people started talking about it and they started getting, started telling me like what this Steam machine is comparable to, and I'm like, oh, so that's a whole different marketing thing now. So now I'm thinking to myself, this is not a high-powered, high-priced box that's coming out that's going to rival the Project Mag or whatever the hell it's called over at Xbox. This is a whole different thing. This is basically an accessibility machine at this point. So it's going to be something that's incredibly affordable that a lot of people will be able to buy as like a supplementary piece of hardware that you're not going to use as your main, but it's something you could get for maybe a couple $100, maybe like $350 or so, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that being the case, now my mindset has changed. My mind originally said $600 to $1,000 this and that. And then when people started pointing out, Danny Passion being one of them, he's like, this thing is barely above a Series. It's basically between a Series S and a Series X / base PS5. And I'm like, okay, so this thing's got to be incredibly cheap. Not cheap, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be as expensive as like a PS5 Pro or a Project Mag. By the way, the new Xbox is called the Project Mag, so you guys can all, whatever. I don't care about any of that stuff. It's called the Project Mag. Not Magnus. Mag. Project Mag. So anyways, they talked about this. By the way, I'm getting messages like friggin' mad right now. Cerebral Paul, the Discord should be right there on the main screen of my YouTube page. It has a link that'll send you right there. And if not, it's just the Mag Show, the Space Mag Show, all capital letters. The Space Mag Show, and that's for the channel members. But it should automatically, like, I don't know what the hell is wrong with that thing. I'm gonna have to look into that once again, because what I did is I attached it to be visible to channel members, so that when you become a channel member, it should be right there on my main YouTube page, and you click on it and it'll take you straight there. It did for a bunch of other people, and then all of a sudden people are like, I can't find it. I'm like, I don't understand it. Some found it, some didn't, and I'm like, what is going on, YouTube? What are you doing? Anyways, as for the Steam machine, if you make this thing affordable and accessible, and people who want to access Steam but don't want to go through the rigmarole of building a PC, buying a pre-built one for like possibly double, triple, quadruple the price of whatever this thing may be priced at, is that at that point, people will buy that. Because then they can access Steam there without having to, like I said, to go through that whole song and dance of dealing with PC. You just buy this little cute little box, you stick it on the corner of your desk, and then you can access your Steam. You can access Steam right from there. And then of course you get games for super cheap, because listen, nobody does a sale like Steam. Nobody does a sale like Steam. You know what I mean? They have these Steam sales, whatever you can buy games for pennies on there. And I think that's a great idea. Now, a lot of people are, talking about, there's a big threat to Xbox, whatever, myself included. I'm like, well, because Xbox is the only one who's talked about making it like a PC console hybrid, and then all of a sudden Steam out of nowhere announces a PC console hybrid. Of course, your mind will immediately go, oh shit, they're going after Xbox or whatever else. I don't really think that's the case. I think that at that point, because the presumed power differentiation between the two is that they'll be on completely different levels, and they're going to be for two different types of gamer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that where the Project Mag is going to be incredibly powerful and incredibly expensive, it's going to be for a very discerning customer, right? And they're going to be targeting the ROG Ally X people. All right, the same people that spent $1,000, $1,500 on a handheld, plus all the accessories that came with it and all that. They're targeting those people. I don't think that this Steam machine is trying to take away from that. However, it will give people that access over there for a much cheaper price, and I think that is the only threat really to Xbox's Xbox PC hybrid, is that it will give accessibility for a cheaper price. And so that may actually, in fact, take away some people away from there. So I don't know. We shall see. But also, let's also not forget, they did say that this thing is going to be launching in early 2026, which means that they have a damn near almost 2-year jump on Xbox. So if you buy this thing, let's say in February of this year, or next year, February 2026, and you buy this Steam machine for like, let's say $500, $600, whatever the heck it is, and then 2 years from now, Xbox comes out with Project Mag, then that's a little bit of a different story. By that point, you could say, well, I'm going to trade in this box, this Steam machine, and I'll upgrade to that one because it's much more powerful. And it'll be almost 2 years later. It's like a year and 10 months later. I'll get the better tech. So I think what I'm trying to say here is that I think that this actually, you have room for both. There's room for both because of the time difference between the releases of these two pieces of hardware. If they were releasing in the same month, I could absolutely see it being a problem. Because then you could say, okay, Steam, is taking a shot across the bow here. You know what I mean? And they're trying to take the thunder away from Microsoft. But these products are so far apart that there really is no, you know what I mean? That there really is no, I don't think there's much danger out there in terms of like taking away too many people from a console that they're not even going to get for another 2 years. So it's, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard to balance where this all stands. And I know a lot of podcasters tomorrow are going to be talking about this. Some did some shows tonight. And a lot of people are going to be having conversations and discussions about this very thing. And I'm going to listen to all those shows because I want to get their perspective. You know, I saw Reforged did a video tonight. Great video. Super wicked smart dude. That man. You may not always agree with what he's got to say. But he's a smart man. There's no question about it. So, I listen to him. I want to hear what's he's going to be talking about it tomorrow during his show. I'm going to be listening to what he's talking about tomorrow. I want to hear what his side of the story is. I want to hear from Xbox gamers. I want to hear their thoughts and feelings and opinions on it. I want to hear what the PlayStation guys are going to be talking about it. And then, of course, all the big YouTubers are making videos right now that they're going to launch first thing tomorrow morning about their thoughts and views about the Steam machine and where it sits in all of this. Wacko Games, is that confirmed? Because I've seen more than one person say something about that. Wacko Games in the chat says, major flaw with the Steam machine is it can't play popular multiplayer games. That's why people won't. That's why people want most, or that's what people want most. That's what he's trying to say. If that is the case, I've heard other people say that exact same thing, and I'm wondering, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, well, if we can get confirmation of that, and that is indeed the fact, and that is indeed the case, then that's a bit of a problem. That's a bit of a problem. But again, we have to wait and see. And it's not going to be far off, by the way. It's coming up very soon. By the way, I just got a message from someone who's saying that the Steam machine is projected to be below $700 cost. So there you go. Okay, so Wacko Games is saying, yes, Linux is not safe, and some of those games run poorly on it. Okay. It's true because of Linux and not supporting anti-cheat. That is pretty short-sighted, I think, of Valve, if that is indeed the case. It's because of Linux in the anti-cheat. Yeah, Phantom Thief is saying the same thing. All right, so I got the chat on fire right now. All saying the same thing. Funky Playbox, I think Reforge and Oh No It's Alex need to do a show together. I would literally pay money to go to a movie theater and watch on IMAX Alex and Reforge Gaming doing a show together. Oh my god, the way that those guys go at each other. Well, I mean, Reforge doesn't say his name. He doesn't say his name. Alex doesn't give a fuck. Banana Boy just goes right after him. He just fucking just goes after him like a madman. I should do a stream with Alex and wear a banana suit. See what he has to say. Seth Monster. Okay, so let's get back into this Linux situation. I think that's kind of short-sighted of Steam if that's indeed the case. So if that's the case and you're not going to be able to access those multiplayer games which are incredibly popular, yes, I understand that the rest of Steam has infinite amounts of selection of games that a lot of games you can't get anywhere else, right? PC exclusive games, right? It's like, oh, that game looks cool, like AA games or indie games. You're like, oh, I want to play that game, or I want to play that. It's Steam only. and you're like, ah, fuck. Not in a console or whatever else. You could utilize that for that, but it's got to come in at a price that's going to be enticing for people to want to do that, as I said once before, as a supplementary product, not their primary product. If you're not going to be able to access all the stuff that you want to be able to access, then it would be a supplementary product. At that point, I wouldn't pay more than like a couple $100 for it. I'd pay like $350, $400 for something like that, and then access Steam, but you ain't getting more money out of me for that, because if I can't play all the games on there, then what's the point? I don't know. See, Daryl's saying the same. Maybe dual boot. I don't know, bro. We're going to have to figure it out. Yeah, Barry's big boy Barry saying 90% is shovelware. It's true. They have a lot of stupid ass games in there, but I mean, and that's why I wouldn't want to spend like prime money on a Steam box if I'm not going to utilize it that same way. You know what I mean? I don't know. We have to wait and find out all the details. They just announced it today. They showed what it was. They also showed other products too. By the way, the controller looks like fucking dog water. What is that with those stupid ass paddles underneath the thumbsticks? What is that? You know how many times I would, like if I was utilizing that, you know how many times I would accidentally hit those paddles and probably do something stupid? I could just see it, man. I could just see myself just completely screwing with that. No, that controller looks awful. Doesn't even look ergonomic enough to like fit in your hands. Probably it's like so friggin' square, it's not square, but rectangular. Ridiculous. I don't like the controller on the thing. The box itself, dope. I love it. It's small, it's compact, but it's got to be priced right. I ain't buying a little box in the corner to access Steam if you're going to charge me even if it's $500 American. That's like $800 Canadian. I'm not spending that money to be able to access some Steam games that I want to play, and then getting great discounts on AAA games, whatever that they got in the store whenever they do those big Steam sales and stuff, right? Or on older games or whatever. I'm not going to spend $800 on that. I got a PS5 Pro sitting over there. I got a Series X over there, a Series S over there that can pretty much do the exact same thing minus the, exclusive Steam games. But still, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you got to price it right, because if it's going to be a supplementary product to your main products, it's like a PS Portal. I'm not spending more than $200 on a PS Portal. It's a great machine that does great things. No question about it. But because it's a supplemental product to the main product, I would not pay more than a couple $100 for it. Just me. It's just me. Now, they showed some other stuff today. Not only did they show the controller, they also showed that they got this cute VR headset. So they got this VR headset, looked pretty dope too. And then they showed, of course, like, when they pan the camera out, and they're like, here's our family of hardware or whatever else. And I'm like, very cool. Very cool. So you got, Steam Deck, you've got the Steam machine, you've got the VR headset now. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I like it, and I'll tell you why I like it. I like it because you're getting competition out there in the world. We need more competition. Cerebral Paul is right. He's saying the Mac Show with 16 gigs of DDR5 and 8 gigs of DDR6 VRAM, this thing is going to be limited. Forget 4K 60 with modern games, and that's why they got to price it right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to. There's nothing wrong with the specs. You're going to have to price it appropriately. You're not going to be able to price it and put it in a category or in the same price range as something like a PS5 Pro or a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. You can't do that. You're going to have to price it far below that. And that's going to be important. And we got 78 Inc. He's been a member for 4 months. Thank you so much, 78 Inc. And he is a top tier maggot, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your support, brother. You've been nothing short of amazing. Awesome dude. And he says, multiplayer games unfortunately don't work well or sometimes at all on Linux. This is true. I've had issues with it on Nobara, Manjaro. Okay, so dude, that sucks. So now that's another strike against this thing. So you've got a little bit of a tech. You got some limitations with the hardware, and on top of that, you're having issues with the operating system, Linux. Then you're really gonna have to price this under $500. It's got to be under $500, or you know what I'm saying? Devil Dog, good question. He says, will Xbox support VR? Why not? If it's a PC, if it's a PC and you're able to access Steam and everything else, you should be able to access your VR through there. I don't see why not. It's basically a pre-built PC with an Xbox sticker on it. And the Xbox UI will be in the system, but it's still a pre-built PC, if that is indeed what they're doing, which I believe that it is. Right? So then you should be able to access it from there. And if you have PSVR 2, I believe that PSVR 2 now has PC support. Right? So that's interesting. Pretty cool. So yeah, I would imagine it would, to answer that question. And we got Danny Passion. He's coming in, dropping a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Danny Passion. Good man, that Danny Passion. Handsome fellow, too, by the way, I might add. And he says, thank you, Danny. And he says, people praise Steam Deck when I had it for 8 months, and I know its weakness. By the way, Mag, next time you have tech videos, ask your chat. We got your back. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. Yeah, anyway, the video wasn't supposed to be a tech video today. My video today was literally just to report the news. I was just reporting the news that, hey, this is what, this is what they announced today. This is what's going on, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then whatever. Yeah, see, Jesse James, absolutely. $3.99 would be a good price. I'd buy that. For $3.99, I'll buy it. Oh, Rush Fan said it too. Sorry, Rush Fan, I didn't see you say that. Thank you, Danny Passion. I appreciate you, brother. And of course, Danny Passion always reaches out to me. We talk privately. Good man, that one. Gotta price it right. Yeah, Big Boy Barry, the Steam headset. It looks pretty cool, man. See, this is why I love you guys. This is why I love this chat. K-Rock is, you guys are educating me by the day. He says, those trackpads and the controllers important for games that need mouse and keyboard support. You're a smart cookie there, K-Rock. Achievement unlocked for K-Rock. Rare achievement. Smart. I didn't think of that. I thought they were just a really stupid design choice. That's what happens when you get me on the mic, eh? So anyways, yeah. So the situation is here. I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, well, now you're going to have to, like I said, you're going to have to price this thing appropriately. But we'll find out. Listen, we're going to find out very, very soon. Because like I said, today was just the announcement. I did a video just explaining what it was. I gave the specs, not for me. I gave the specs for the people out there, because the people who actually know what the hell they're talking about when it comes to tech stuff. And they're like, oh, it's this, and this. And I'm like, I just reporting that, and I'm saying this is what I think it might be, between $600 and $1,000. Now, once the people started reaching out to me and saying, Meg, actually, in layman's terms, these specs actually put this thing powered lower than the current gen consoles outside of the Series S. And I'm like, oh, in that case, the only thing about my video that I think is fraudulent is the fact that I thought it'd be between $600 and $1,000. I would have to lower those expectations. I would think it's somewhere between $500 and $700. Just my opinion. But we're gonna find out very shortly. And I did speak to someone who's someone who does stuff. I can't say what he does, because if I say what he does, we'll both get in trouble. Let's just say he works for a certain company and he's high up in the company. Anyway, the point is, he's saying that this thing's going to be less than $700. So that's where we're going to leave it there. So we're going to find out when they actually announce it. And they will announce that very shortly, I guarantee it. Because like I said, today was just the announcement. Probably at the Game Awards. They might do another commercial at the Game Awards. And then from there, boom, drop the price, drop the date, show you how much it costs, and then that's all there is to it. And we've got Glinzer! Glinzer, thank you so much, brother. And he drops a $5 super chat. Thank you. And he asks, opinion on the Grammy Awards Best Video Game Score 2026 nominees. Expedition 33 is not a nominee. What a joke. Are you kidding? The music in Expedition 33 was fantastic. That is a travesty. Well, Glinzer, thank you for that. I'm going to have to look into that now. I want to see what the other nominations were. And I can tell you this. I'm going to look up the nominees. I want to find out what's going on there. But we'll see. Big Boy Barry tried to send me something. It says, because of my safety settings, to see it update your settings. I can't change those settings on my Xbox. DM me on Twitter. Okay, Avatar had a good score. Broke Boys got it in the chat. Helldivers 2, it was all right. Star Wars Outlaws was good. Star Wars Outlaws music was good. It was very, very Star Trek, Jesus Christ. It was very Star Wars, John Williams feel to it. It was very good score. Avatar was a fantastic score as well. I really, really enjoyed the Avatar score from the game. If you guys haven't played the game, by the way, go get that game because that game is coming out. Sorry, it's already out, but the updates are coming, the third-person updates. You can play a co-op with a friend. In third person, it looks unbelievable. Incredible graphics. And then on top of that, they're adding the Fire and Ash expansion that's coming out in time with the movie. Avatar was a fantastic game. I loved it. Indiana Jones was nominated. Okay, there you go. Those are all worth it. But I got to tell you, I think Expedition 33 got that should be an option there too, because honestly, Expedition 33's music was wonderful. Yeah, exactly. See, 78 Inc. is saying the same thing. Helldivers is a surprise over Expedition 33. Cerebral Paul, I'll send you a link later, brother. As soon as I'm done the show, which I'll be wrapping up shortly anyway. But anyways, yeah. So we have to watch with bated breath here, ladies and gentlemen, about how this whole Steam machine thing plays out. It's interesting, no doubt. But the thing is, and the thing is, there's one of the last things I want to bring up tonight before we sign off for the evening, is that competition is always good. Competition breeds excellence. Competition keeps people on their toes. And who thrives? Who benefits from competition? We do. The consumer benefits from competition because they're always going to be outdoing each other to make a better product. Each company will continuously try to put one over on the other company and try even harder to do even better. Oh, Cerebral Paul, you got the link. Thank God. Okay, good. Competition does all those things, and we as consumers benefit from that. That's why when, Xbox can't leave the space. It's not going to. I'm just saying like in general. They can't leave the space. Why? We need them. Because without them, or even the PlayStation is going to be, you don't want anybody sitting on their laurels. Okay? So, resting on their laurels, not sitting. But you know what I'm trying to say. My brain is still scrambled eggs from last night. You guys know that already. Anonymous Boss! How you doing, buddy? And Game On Jesse, what are you guys doing? No, Game On Jesse, I don't think so. He's asking in the chat, he goes, do you think that Steam will force Microsoft to show Xbox Fusion sooner than they wanted to? No, I don't believe that. I think that Microsoft's got their plan. They've got their situation. They knew this box was coming out. It's not like this was a mystery to them. It's not like they found out today, like the rest of us, that this thing was coming. They knew this thing was coming out. They've known for a while. So I think that their trajectory of where they're going to be taking their product, they're going to be doing their own thing. And they know exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? Emperor Hound, get on those games, man. I'll get them on too, buddy. What is Cerebral Paul saying over here? So yeah, we need the competition out there. We need more hardware out there from different companies. And why? It's going to continue to push innovation forward. It's going to continue to get these companies to be on their toes to bring us the best product possible, because they're going to be all fighting for our attention. That is what these companies should be doing. They should not be giving us the table scraps of whatever they got lying around going, here, feed them this horse shit. They'll eat it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just saying. I think it's very important. I think it's very important that we have that out there. And it's got to, and like I said, bring more into the fold. Get some other companies out there to launch hardware. Do it. Apple, I want you to do more. I like that Valve is doing something here as well. Get more out there. And the reason why, it's going to make the other companies go, shit, there's more selection out there. And it's better for us in the end. Gamers always win. The consumer wins when the companies are competing with each other. They're going to compete for our dollar. They're going to compete for our attention. And they're going to continue to get better and better and better and better in order to get us to look their way. And like I said, in the end, we benefit from that. So that's one thing I want to leave you guys with there tonight. Mr. Santo, you should be able to join the Discord right from the... as Paul. Paul, where the hell did you find the link? Wacko Games, I don't know. I don't know how that damn thing is so small. It's pretty funny, though. But either way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, we're going to get going in just a minute here. However, before I get going, is there any other questions anybody wants to... ask me before we sign off for the night? Ask me any way you want. You want to just ask me in the chat? Just ask me in the chat. You want to super chat? Go ahead. Do whatever you want to do. You do your thing. So ask away if you got any questions that you want me to answer right before I get on there. Oh, it was sent to you on Twitter. That's weird. I gotta really look into that situation to find out what the hell's going on. So either way. Anyways, ask away, guys. If you have any questions, go for it, man. I'll wait. Oh, by the way, if anybody has time while we're doing the show here right now and just yip-yapping or whatever else, see if one of the channel members, one of you guys in the channel members, go to the Discord, copy the link, and put it in the chat for me. Normally I would have a mod doing that, but there's only one mod here. Magnum, and I think he left for the night. There we go. I see Mag all over the place. What are we asking? What are we asking? Oh my God, Eugenia, let me tell you something. First of all, if Noof Nukem and I were dancing on the tables, we would break the tables, okay? Like, I'm not, let me tell you something. Noof Nukem is built like a goddamn linebacker. He's like 6'3", 6'4", whatever it is, and he's got to have at least 60 pounds on me. He's a big dude, man. I wouldn't fucking tangle with him. Jeffrey Garcia saying happy holidays to Mag and the Maggots. Thank you so much, buddy.
I'll be stoned for Christmas.
Don't worry, I got a lot of Christmas stuff coming up. Yeah, Grumpy Old Fart, do the MAGGCAST Extended Edition. I normally would, and you know what? Let me tell you something, man. I'm always down for that, but you know the problem is, last night was such a shit show that I am like on my last leg right now. Cerebral Paul is saying, tell the missus I said, hey. I absolutely will, Paul. Emperor Hound, you know where to find me. Yo, Streets in the house. How you doing? You think PlayStation is going to be worried that there's another console that can play their games? No, I don't think so. Again, this is also coming out. Don't forget, this console is coming out presumably almost 2 years before a PS6 comes out. And yes, you can access PlayStation games on Steam, obviously, right? So it's all there too. You know what I mean? So it's all there. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to see how this all is going to play out. But I don't think that it's going to pull. I don't think that Sony's worried about it. Sony's got their own product. They do their own thing. They got their global brand. They know what they're doing with it. They know how to do it. Wacko Games, is Noof Nukem lewd in person too? Absolutely. In fact, in the middle of the live stream last night, as we were live streaming, because the Mag had said, "Mag, you gotta stream live from the bar when you were Noof and your wife and the doctor and everything else and all that stuff." And I'm sitting there talking, and about 5 minutes in, Noof rips the biggest fart you've ever heard. It was like, "Wah!" And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, live on the air. And I mean, you can hear it. It's not like you couldn't hear it. It was so fucking loud. Oh my God. Andy Hart, he comes in. Thank you so much, brother. And he's a member for 1 month. Thank you, my friend. And he sends a member chat and he's saying, Steam Machine looking interesting. Yeah, we were just talking about it for the last half hour. Thank you very much, Andy Hart. I appreciate you, brother. So yeah, I think this is good all around for everybody. I don't know, Rush fan. I don't know if the Bills are going to win this week. They played like shit against the Dolphins, but they're going to come back. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Emperor Hound, absolutely. It does sound like New for sure, yeah. He's exactly the same person that you see on the air. He's the same person in real life. Yeah, so it's pretty funny. So yeah, Glinzer in the chat, he's saying Duke Nukem Forever's dev time may turn out to be less than GTA 6. That is a true statement, my friend. That is a true statement right there. And we got the failed wizard. Listen to this madness I got going on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, the Veil Wizard. He drops a $5 super chat, brother. Thank you so much. And he says, feels like competition in gaming is an illusion because we will continue to pay for anyone's shit. Rest in peace, the customer. I also agree with that. Never settle. Do not settle. And that's why I want more out there. I want more out there, Failed Wizard. Thank you very much, by the way. I appreciate that, brother. I want that competition out there. And we need it out there because then you don't have to sit around and just accept whatever table scraps they got lying around. They're going to have to fight for our dollar. And that's what I want. That's what I've always wanted. And that's why I always do. Like when I do my shows and I do my viewpoints and when I do my videos, it's all for the consumer. That's us. I do it for you guys, not for these fucking corporations. These assholes, they don't care about us. They don't know who we are. We're ants to them. They're making millions of dollars and they don't give a shit. And that's why we truly have the power. And we need to take that power back. I know it sounds really sort of cliche, but you know what I'm saying? We need to take that power back. And the only way to do that is by having these competitions fighting for our dollar. You know what I mean? Fighting for our dollar. That's what we want. And I welcome the Steam Machine. I'm excited for it. Yeah, Top Gamer Pro. He goes, I guess that's what Noof, that's Noof's way of paying his gas bill. There you go, buddy. Top Gamer, you're absolutely right. I don't know, Jesse James. We're going to have to wait and find out, brother. And we got Pushy Polygons, a member for 4 months.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
Welcome to the channel. Oh, not welcome to the channel. Thank you for sticking around in the channel. He is a magtastic maggot. Thank you so much, Pushy Polygons. You are an amazing person. And he says in his member chat, he says, any expectations for the Game Awards in a month? Yes. There's going to be stuff and things there. I just expect things. I just don't know what it's going to be. Not yet. It's a little too soon. Word of that stuff is going to start coming out a little bit later in the month. I think in the next couple of weeks we'll start getting some info drops as to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But either way. Anyways, if that's it for everybody tonight, we got all the everybody's got their questions in and all their super chats and all the whatever else. I hope that I was able to be informative and entertaining tonight. We always have a little bit of fun with that stuff. Always have a great time. Big boy, I'm going to check out your messages later. As soon as I get off the air, I'm going to catch up on my messages, and then we'll take it from there. But anyways, Pushy Polygons, when I start getting information, I will find out in the next week or so. Most likely. Nothing yet. Nothing has come across my plate like, oh, by the way, expect this at the Game Awards. Oh, expect this at the Game Awards. I haven't heard any of that stuff yet. My expectations, obviously, are incredibly high. You know what I mean? Like, my expectations are obviously very high. But as for the specifics, I haven't heard anything yet. Truth Serum, where the hell have you been hiding this whole show? Were you here the whole time? I just didn't see your name? Either way, you're here now. Zedbird, I've got the power! In which case, I'm going to do this. Anyways, I'm going to be playing some Arc Raiders tomorrow with a certain gentleman from the Xbox Nation. We'll be doing a little bit of that tomorrow. And then maybe I'll do some streaming tomorrow night of something else. Maybe Arc Raiders. I don't even know. I don't even know what's going to happen. But either way, I'm going to be doing something tomorrow night. I assure you. And maybe in the daytime too. I'm not really 100% how this is all going to go down tomorrow, but we'll figure it all out. So I'll be online tomorrow at some point. And then Friday, we are going to have a Call of Duty celebration day. Even though it's really funny that I actually wasn't excited for the game, but now that the details have come out, I'm actually really excited for the game. It's funny how that works, eh? It's funny how I pulled like a full 180 on that game. I was just like, fuck them. Looks like dog water. And then all of a sudden, and then I played it, and I was just like, ugh, whatever. I'm going back to Battlefield, which I'm adoring the living shit out of Battlefield, by the way. And if you haven't seen my Battlefield 6 marinated review, it's up right now. It's about 16 minutes long. I thought it was a good review, good breakdown of the game. A lot of people enjoyed the video. Go check out my marinated review of Battlefield 6. Love that game. Great game. But anyways, we'll be online tomorrow night playing something. I just don't know what yet. I've got a lot of games a lot of streaming games in the backlog that I got to get back to, but I've also been very busy the last couple of weeks, so things will hopefully start to calm down for the next couple of weeks that I can get through all those games that you guys are doing it. Yes, Cyber Gunter, I will be buying it. And because my wife wants to play as well, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it on the PS5, and I'll give everybody my I'll put it right here in the chat at some point when I find out what the hell it is, my Activision ID. I think it's I Am the Mag, but I'm not 100%. I'll check it out. And then whatever my Activision ID is, add me there, just like we did for Battlefield 6. All the Xbox and PC guys added me, and then we're all in there, so we're all playing the game and all that shit. So we'll do the same thing for Call of Duty this Friday. And then, yeah, we're going to do a whole day celebration playing Call of Duty. Might do like one or two different streams that day, maybe 3. I'll break it up in a couple of streams throughout the day. We'll do a whole lot of that. So, yeah. And Guardian is saying, "Welcome to hell."
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
There it is. Oh, and Magnum is back. All right, guys. Anyways, we got to get going, everybody. So, anyways, it was a wonderful show tonight. I had a great time. Thank you guys all so much for the support, all the super chats, all the channel memberships, all the gifted members, everything. You guys have been nothing short of absolutely amazing. And honest to God, man, it's so heartwarming. Daryl, that's right, notifications on. Thank you, Daryl. And hey, man, you never know. If on Friday you're floating around and you're playing on Call of Duty and I'm live streaming, jump in, man. I'll be on there. Thank you, Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat. He put the Discord link posted above. So appreciate that very much. Thank you very much, guys. Maggots, you guys are amazing. You're so supportive and so incredible. And like I said, from the bottom of my heart, I truly mean it, man. You guys mean everything to me. And I get so excited. I get nervous when I do these shows, believe it or not. It's like, oh my God, I got an hour to the showtime and I got to make sure I know what I go through what I'm going to talk about and stuff like that or whatever, right? And then Great Wah, thank you, buddy. And then when I finally get down and sit down and do the show, I don't even feel like I'm doing a show for like viewers. I feel like we're just like family sitting around talking, man. I really do feel that. I'm not blowing smoke on about anybody's ass. I really mean that. I really feel like you guys, like, this is where I'm so comfortable. This is where I feel I was meant to be. And when it feels this good, to do this shit, this is what I was meant to do, man. I was always meant to entertain. There's no question of that. And I've done that throughout my life in different ways. Through music, through being an executive chef, doing all that kind of stuff, all these different things, acting, and then of course YouTube, doing all my skits and all whatever else, and on Twitter and all that stuff. And I was meant to do that kind of stuff. But now that I'm here, I realize that this is where I'm meant to be. This is where I was meant to be. And I assure you this, guys, at some point in the future, this will be my past, present, and future. I am absolutely dead set on doing this full time. This is what I want to do. And then when I do that, then I will have a steady schedule and say, this is what we're doing. But for now, I'm going to leave you guys with one other thing. Cruxton, thank you. Starting in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be launching a new show. And that will be every Friday, 8:45. Same time as this show, except it'll be on Fridays. It'll be a shorter show, though. It's not going to be like 2 hours or 2 hours plus. It's going to be a much shorter show. It's only going to be about like an hour. Magnum. He's like, sorry, Mag. I listen to you at work, and sometimes I actually need to do some work. Or work is overrated. I'm going to be launching a new show in a few weeks, and I'll tell you guys the name of it right now. I'm going to have some graphics designs and whatever done or whatever. It's going to be called Mixin' with Mag. And it will be Friday nights at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same time as this show. But like I said, it'll only be about an hour. And that will be every Friday. So every Tuesday and every Friday, unless, of course, I'm away or something like that. Like yesterday, I was away, so I had to do MAGGCAST tonight. But normally, that's Tuesdays. Next week, I'm away at Great Wolf Lodge, so I'm going to have to do MAGGCAST on Thursday night when I get back from Great Wolf Lodge. But like I said, when I travel and I have stuff to do, obviously I have to change around some of the times. But it's fine. I get it. And I know you guys get it. But Friday nights will be the new show. It's called Mixing with Mag. And what it is that I will open the doors to all of you. And what that means, that if anybody wants to be an aspiring YouTuber or already is a YouTuber, I'm going to have unknowns. And I'm going to have famous people. I'm going to have all of it. And once in a while, I will open those doors, just like Apollo Creed giving the unknown guy a chance. And if you want to get in there, and what I do is let's say the first half hour of the show, I'm going to put you on the show. And we're just going to talk. And you get your voice out there. You'll be on camera with me. And we shoot the breeze for about, half hour to an hour, whatever the hell it is. And we'll do that every week. And I will pick a different person. And of course, time depends. If it's working, then we keep going. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to get people from all walks of life. From your average gamer to your big time YouTuber. I'll have you all on here, one way or another, and that's what it's going to be. But it's never going to be a panel. I don't like panels. I don't like doing that. It's going to be I do the one-man show. The Mag show is always going to be a one-man show. And then Mixing with Mag is always going to be a one-on-one. That's it. And it's not going to be a 2-hour show like these ones. Cerebral Paul, of course you dumbass. You and I already did a show together. We did the review of Mafia together. Remember that? Zeb Bird. He's saying Mag feels the power now. Sparta, yes. I removed Sparta from here, though, by the way, so I replaced it with... Maganda! Maganda! There it is. Oh, Cerebral Paul, you had to throw that joke in there. That's funny. Oh, my goodness. Yes, and the door will be open for everybody else. Mixing with Mag will start in a couple of weeks. I will give you guys the proper heads up, and that will be every Friday, 8:45, and it'll run anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how the conversation goes. And then we'll have a talk. And like I said, I'll go from complete unknowns to big YouTubers to bigger YouTubers. And we just have a talk. See if I can get Destin on here. See if I can get Jez on here just for like half an hour. Come to shoot the breeze. Maybe Randall Thor. Colt Eastwood 100% is going to come on. And we're going to do stuff like that. And then we'll do things like that. And then I'll just get somebody from the crowd who reaches out to me and goes, Meg, give me a shot. And I'm like, you got a microphone you got a microphone, a headphone, and a camera? Yeah. All right. Well, then let's go. You get your shot. And that's what it's for. It's to support the community out there, because the thing is, a lot of people won't give, let's face it, a lot of people won't give people chances. When I first came on the scene, Noof Nukem was the first person who gave me a shot, whereas most people wouldn't have given me that shot. And Noof was like, you know what, man? I'll give you a shot. And so he did. And so I'd like to return that favor to other people out there, because you never know, man. You never know. You might be the next big YouTuber. You just don't know it yet. And how the hell are you going to know unless somebody doesn't give you a chance? I'm going to give you a chance. And so that's what Mixing with Mag is all about. So there it is. Grumpy Old Fart, what are you saying? Don't apologize. Whatever you're apologizing for, don't. Yeah, Grumpy Old Fart. Yeah. Sometimes you got to work too. I get it. I'm just messing with you guys. But Noof is going to be on. Absolutely, Noof's going to be on. Great Wall, you're one of them, dude. You and I have been talking behind the scenes anyway. Actually, Great Wall, I'd like to hook up with you at some point to do some more background tech stuff, because I think I figured out some more things about how to get guests onto the show properly. Remember, we were having some trouble with that last time? We'll have that fixed for the next one. But either way. Anyways, okay, guys, I got to get going. Great show tonight, guys. It was a lot of fun, and boy, what an incredible amount of support. Devil Dog, get him into it, man, if that's what he wants to do. Get him in there and support it. Encourage it. It's good. Stay magnificent, everyone. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. I will put out notifications as to what I'm going to be playing, but we're going to be doing something tomorrow. I don't know what the hell it is. We'll just have some fun playing some games. And then, like I said, Friday is Call of Duty Day. We're going to be playing Call of Duty all friggin' day. Morning, I'll stream in the morning. I'll stream in the afternoon. I'll stream at night, whatever. Alex, if you got a microphone and a camera and a pair of headphones and you can utilize them properly, then you're welcome to do it too. I literally saying I'm holding the door open for people. I mean it. And pushing polygons, yes. Mag's pretty awesome for this. I'm not saying yes, I'm awesome. I'm just saying thank you for that. I appreciate it. But anyways, okay, guys. I've said goodbye more times than the end of Return of the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. But either way, we'll see you guys all real soon. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Stay magnificent. Have a great night. And again, thank you for all the support. Love you guys. We'll talk to you all then. Bye now.